there are a lot of moral and ethical challenges that our imahot and our avot have to deal with. And the question is, do they always come out crispy clean? They always come out, like, clean. Like, I want to say, like, like Krispy Kreme, but it's not Krispy Kreme, it's like clean. They have to come out stellar, is the word I'm looking for. And what's very strange is that the Torah itself really doesn't tell us if what they did was right or wrong, but I believe if we wake up and smell the Chumash, the Torah will be very clear, I think, you'll argue with me later, if what happened should have happened, and if it could be done a little bit better. Question number 1, this is the big picture question, was Sarah justified in giving Hagar to Abraham? That's question number 1. Question 2 is another important question, and that is, was Sarah justified in how she treated Hagar? There's other questions that we're going to come up with together, but before we do that, I want to read source number 1. Let's read this episode. And if you could come up with, I asked 2 big questions, moral questions, ethical questions. If you can come up with other like textual things that just seem weird, just let me know. Okay, let's read together source number 1. V'Sarai eshet Avram lo yodala v'la shivcha mitzri d'shma Hagar. So Sarai, the wife of Avram, had no kids. However, she has a shivcha. She has a maidservant, Egyptian maidservant, whose name was Hagar. Vatomer Sarai el Avram, and Sarai turns to Avram, Hinei atzarani Hashem yiledet. God has prevented me from having children. Bona o shivchati, come build with my maidservant, have a family. V'yishma Avram lakol Sarai. Abraham listens to Sarai, and they cohabitate.
Why does Sarah say that?
Why does Sarah say what?
Like,
it's a good question. Why should that? Good, we'll get there. Vatikach Sarai shel Avram et Hagar Mitzrit. Sarai, the wife of Abraham, takes Hagar, the Egyptian maidservant, bracket, Miket Shav Shanim LaShavet Avraham Beretz Canaan, for 10 years of living in Eretz Canaan. Vatiten Ota LaAvram. She takes Hagar to Abraham. Isha. What's Isha? Isha is her husband, or Isha, her husband, Lo Isha. And Hagar is taken by Abraham as a wife. Vayavo Hagar Vatahar, and she becomes pregnant. Vateraki Harata. She sees that she sees that she's pregnant. Vatekal Givir Bena, and she begins to. How do you translate that? What's Vatekal Givir Bena? How do you translate that? Treats her what? Badly. Like badly, like lightly, right? Like not so nice. We'll get you a chair, don't worry. Vatomer Sarai el Avram. Sarai turns to Avram. Chamasi alecha. What's chamasi? What's chamas? Okay, give me that may be. Make sure it's double sided. This paper. Yeah. Okay. Chamasi. Okay, anger. You vilified me. You've been villainous. I gave the mistress, the maiden, to you. She sees she's pregnant. And made her become light in her eyes. May God judge between the two of us. Avram turns to Sarah and says, Sarai, take your maidservant. Do asila do what you see fit. Vata'aneh Sarai, and what does Sarai do to her? How does it vata'aneh? What's the root word?
Gives her pain?
No, what's the root word of vata'aneh? Inui. And Sarai afflicts her. Vativrach mipanah. And what does she do? She runs away. And an angel of God sees by this well in the desert. And the angel says to Hagar, the maidservant of Sarai, where are you coming from? Where are you going? How does she respond? I'm running away from my mistress, Sarai. The angel of God says to her, return back to your mistress. Vehit ani tachat yadeha. And what should you do? What's vehit ani? You should not be poor, but you should suffer. From the word inu, you should suffer under her. The angel says to her, lots of children, won't be to count them. The angel of God says to her, you're pregnant, you're going to have a child, God heard your affliction, your suffering. And he will be a wild of a man. His hand will be everywhere. She calls this place El Roi Ki Amra Hagam Halom Riti Achiri. Very difficult passage to translate, but it's a lot of that has to do with God, or the power maybe of Ra'i, of seeing. Because after all, God saw me. Okay, therefore she calls this place the well of life that sees, which is located in Kadesh and Barad. She has a child. Avraham has a son, and they call him Yishmael. Ladies and gentlemen, what is problematic with these paragraphs? What's bothering you? One, what's bothering you? What's strange? Grammatically even. What's bothering you grammatically? What seems to be a little bit redundant? What seems to be repeated a bit too much? What do you think? What? What do you think? Let's start with something really simple. How does a conversation work when you write in English? And this person said to that person. How do you write that? This person said to that person, X. What happens when they continue to talk? What would you say? Nothing, right? So if that's true, can you please explain to me Tet, Yud, and Yud Aleph? What's very strange about the sequence of those psukim? What's very strange with the sequence of those psukim? Tet, Yud, and Yud Aleph. What? How did all these three psukim begin? Vayomar Lamelech Hashem. X. What happens after that? We don't know. Then what? B. Vayomar Lamelech Hashem. Then what's going on there? You don't write like that. Just say Vayomar Lamelech Hashem, ABC. Why does it repeat Vayomar Lamelech Hashem? It's a very important question. 2. Is this angel schizophrenic? Is this angel there to help Hagar or not to help Hagar? Where do you see both sides of the coin? Where do you see both sides of the coin? What does she tell her? Good news or bad news? What does she say in Tet? Hagar, what should you do? Go back and what? And suffer. Good angel or bad angel? Bad angel. Then what does the angel say? In Yud.
Lots of kids.
Lots of kids. Still, what's Hagar's response? Nothing. Yud Aleph? You have an angel? You have an angel. You have a kid? Yishmael? He'll be wild? He'll run around everywhere? What does she do? Of course, she goes back. What's going on here? Why is it that the third time she's like, fine, she acquiesces? Okay, I'll go back. She goes back. What's so different about the third time?
She wanted a crazy kid?
Yeah, she wanted a crazy kid? What does that mean? Second, Hagar, is she a shifcha or is she a wife?
Yeah.
Multiple times in Sheffield.
Multiple times. How many times does it say that she's a shifcha? 10 times. Every time it identifies her. Hagar shifcha, Hagar shifcha. But the problem is, what else does it say about her?
Isha.
It also says that she's an Isha. What pasuk is she an Isha in? Look at pasuk Gimel. Abraham looks at her as what? In Isha. How does the Torah identify her as a shifcha? What's the difference between a free person and a slave? If a slave does X and a free person does X, what's the difference between them? A slave is forced to sweep the floor. A free person sweeps the floor. What's the difference? They're both doing the exact same action. Choice. A free person is sweeping the floor because of making money, they want a clean house. Why does a slave sweep the floor? Because they have no choice. They're told to do it. Hagar is told that she has to go back and suffer under Sarai. Question. There's a pregnant pause. She's not happy. She doesn't want to go back. Then she's told lots of children. She still doesn't want to go back. What's the third thing that she finds out? You're going to have a child. God will hear your affliction. Hear your affliction. sign will be free. Yadabako, wild man. No one will be able to control him. What's the next best thing if you're stuck to be a maid, servant? What's the next best thing?
Freedom.
You're not going to get freedom. What's the next best thing? Your child will have freedom. So that's what, my child will be free, then I'm willing to go back. Why? Something's going on here. Yeah.
But didn't when Sarah give her to Abraham as a wife, she elevated her status as a person?
It says everywhere, no, that she's a shivcha. When does it change her status?
But then why would it use the word Isha?
So again, Abraham says, that's what it says here, right? Why didn't I tell Abraham, Isha lo Isha? Or she's giving, it could be that even in her eyes, maybe she's almost like a Isha. Right? But the Torah is identifying the entire time as a shivcha. It's very strange. In order to understand, it's a very difficult story. Very difficult narrative. To do the right thing or wrong thing. What did Sarah do? Why did she do what she did? What's this giving Hagar? Why are you doing all that for? What's this angel? Oh, another word that's repeated. How many times does the verb to see in some different conjugation appear? She sees that she's pregnant. Sarah sees that she's pregnant. She sees herself being pregnant. She sees this angel. She calls this place a place of seeing. You see all that? Ro'i, ro'eh, fatevet, right? We're going to come back to that as well. But I think in order to understand, we have to leave these psukim, and we got to travel to another set of psukim. Let's travel to source number 2. What, if you look at source 2, and give me a title for source 2 that you're familiar with. It's a pretty popular series of psukim. What's going on here? Essentially, this is what's called...
Oh, after Sodom, and Hashem's worried that he used up all his luck.
Okay, good, that's what Medrash says. Okay, but what's this called? What's source 2? Yeah, Bereshis. What is source 2 called? Brit ben Abtarim. Very good, excellent. Source 2 is Brit ben Abtarim. What happens right before Brit ben Abtarim? The War of the 4 and the 5 Kings. Excellent. What's the aftermath of the War of the 4 or 5 Kings? We'll get to it in a second, but first let's read 2. After these things. After what things? The War of the 4 and the 5 Kings. Avraham, don't worry. Avram's in a machazeh. What's a machazeh? A vision. Be very, very important. With the exception of Moshe Rabbeinu, everyone else who speaks to God can only speak to God in a machazeh, in a chalom, some type of trance of some sort. Only Moshe speaks to God, putting him as a conversation. Everyone else, the Rambam Nevuchim says that other Nevi'im would shake, would tremble, would sweat, would have fever, would faint, right? Would have to do it in their sleep. Moshe Rabbeinu, 2 in the afternoon, hey, what's going on there? Right? Don't worry, I'll protect you, give you schar. That's what my son was referring to a medrash that says maybe he ran out of schar because of the war. Vayomer Avram Hashem Elokim. Interesting. Highlight. What name of God is being used in this conversation? Hashem Elokim. Very important. Mati tenli, what are you going to give me? Anochi holech ariri. I am going what? What's ariri? Childless. Well, Ben Meshach Beitiu domestic Eliezer. However, who do I have who runs my household? What's his name? Eliezer. What is Avraham saying? What's Avraham inquiring about? What's the promise at the beginning of Lech Lecha? The Zarachat, you have children. What's Avraham looking around and saying, I don't have children. What children? Who has children? I have no children. I'm old. I'm childless. There's no question. If you had to hedge your bets in your Avraham has told you'll be an Avamon Goyim, you'll have lots and lots and lots of family. Who does Avraham think is going to continue? Right in the beginning. Who does he think is going to be his prodigy? Most probably, first, would be Lot. Then Lot and Avraham get a divorce. Lot moves away, goes to Sodom. Avram's like, okay, he's gone. But all of a sudden, Lot's back. He's taken captive. Bum, 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 bum. I'm going to go save the day. What happens to Lot? Well, turn to 7. Which 7 precedes 2. V'yomer Melech Sodom Avraham, tein li hanefesh v'rechush kachlach. Melech Sodom takes back Lot. He's part of the nefesh, isn't he? Lot and Avraham once again part ways. Now they'll be reunited. You know when they're going to be reunited? Do you know when they're going to be reunited? Eventually, Sodom is going to go kaboom, and Lot's going to be saved. Oh, with Avraham, maybe, right? Lot's out of the picture. Then what happens? Avram says, it's not going to be Lot. You know what it's going to be? Eliezer. But what happens? Take a look. Avram says, listen, okay, Lot's gone. Then we go Eliezer. Look at Pasuk Gimel. Vayomer Avram. Hey, how did Pasuk Bet begin? Vayomer Avraham. What's our problem? Again, we have this pregnant pause. I want you to answer this time why it is. Hen li lo natata zera. You have not given me a child. Hini ben biti yireshoti. My master, my household will inherit me. That's the exact same request to Pasuk Bet. Avram repeats the request twice. Why do you think God doesn't respond? Why doesn't God respond? Yes, he will in a minute. Why doesn't he respond the first time? You know the answer is? He doesn't want to answer Abraham. This is not the right time to give Abraham the correct answer. But what does he end up telling Abraham? That I believe is going to cause a lot of tsaras? Pasuk Daled. Finally God responds, Lo yirash chazeh. He will not inherit you. Who's he? Eliezer. Ki im asher yetzei mimeacha hu yirashecha. Literally, your biological child will inherit you. Go to source 3. Chamasi alecha. Do you remember when Hagar was pregnant? Sarah turns to Abraham and says, Chamasi alecha. You were nice to me. You treated me like a villainess. You were a Hamas. You were whatever. Rashi. So it appears that Abraham mistreated Sarah. Where do we see that? Look at Rashi. Fascinating Rashi. It says Rashi, Chamas asudi. You done something, abomination, disgraceful, villainous. Alecha ani matil onesh. I'm going to place this punishment on you. Keshehit palalta l'kadosh baruch hu. Matitenli. Anochi holech ariri. What are you going to give me? I'm childless. Lo itpalalta ela alecha. Vayalacha litpalel al shnenu. Vayiti ani nifkeret mimcha. What is Sarah's grief? What is she upset about? What did Avram fail to do? What did Avram fail to do? What did Avram fail to do? When Avram prayed to God, look at source 2. What does Avram say? Pasuk Bet. Matiten li anoch lech ariri. What's going on with Avram? Me? I'm childless? Give me? No, Avram's selfish. Says Sarah, you prayed for yourself. What did the Nevuah say to Avraham? The Nevuah said that you're going to have a child. The promise was never about Sarah, was it? God said, take a look very carefully at Pasuk Daled. Ki imasher yetzei mime'echa hu yirashecha. About Sarah? We don't know. I would like to argue, why does Sarah give Hagar to Abraham? What does she think? What does she think? She's never going to have children. What's the next best thing you don't have children? Surrogate motherhood. Excellent. So what does she do? She says, if I can have a child, what happens if your maidservant has a child? It's your child. What's she doing? She's paying for Hagar's, food and doctor's appointments and ultrasounds, right? Ultrasounds and vitamins and all those things, right? She's a surrogate mother. Now, what's Sarah's biggest fear? If she's a surrogate mother, who's going to quote-unquote own, possess, and be the real mother of this child, Yishmael? Who will it be? It'll be Sarah. But what happens once Hagar's pregnant? What does she begin to walk around the house saying and doing? My child. Sarah can't have this. Her whole plan's going to go down the toilet. So what does Sarah then do? I got to get her out. I got to put her in her place. Sarah afflicts. Sarah makes Hagar's life difficult, saying what? You're not that boy's mother, or will not be the boy's mother, child's mother. I am. Puts her in line. Puts her in her place. Hagar then says, forget, I'm out of here. She runs away. But if she's going to be told that, yes, you'll have a child, you'll be a mother, and your children will be free, Yishmael will end up being free. What's that basically saying? That child actually is not going to be whose? Sarah's. It's going to be Hagar's. If that's the case, I'm going to go back. Now, are you ready? This is just the beginning. This gets even worse. Take a look at this. Was she justified? Was Sarah justified in doing this? I believe the Torah subtly says, passes judgment on this entire episode. But you gotta read the lines very carefully. I want to go back to Pasuk Gimel. I want to read Pasuk Gimel in source number 1 very slowly. And I want every single person, because you guys are way too quiet tonight, to tell me where is another example of where this happens in the Torah. Look at Pasuk Gimel. Vatikach Sarai Eshet Avram. Sarai takes. Who does she take? Hagar Mitzri Shivchata. Bracket, forget the 10 years. She takes. Vatiten Ota Le Avram Isha. And she takes Hagar and gives it to her husband Avram. Where is the only place in the Torah where a wife takes something and gives it to her husband? Where it says the word Vatikach Vatitein Leisha. Only place in Chumash where a person. Excellent, very good. Don't feel bad. He's only half your age. Okay, source number 4. Source number 4. $200,000 pays off, right? Okay, source 4. Oh, hi, Amy. Thanks. That's my sister. Oh, thanks. Just leave it there. Vatera. Oh, you heard this here earlier today. Vatera ha'isha kitov etzemacha. My sister works at UT. Source 4 says, Vatera isha kitov etzemacha. The wife sees that what? Tov etzemacha. This tree is really delicious. Taval einayim. Good looking. Appeasing to the eyes. Taiva. It's desireful for the eyes. Source 4. Nechmad laskil. Vatikach. She sees. Vatikach. She takes. Vatiten. She gives. Leisha. Imavayocha.
And it says Haskell. She sees.
Haskell is probably intelligence, right? Haskell, say something. Okay. That's number 1. But now look at this. Turn back to source 2. Let's continue reading till we find more parallels.
Oh, I know.
Wait, don't, quiet.
Open your eyes.
Quiet. Let's go. Let's continue. Look at Hey. We're going to fly through Hey Vav Zayin Chet because we have to move quickly. Go to the Shamayim. Can you count? What does this mean? These are very difficult psukim. We could spend hours and hours just on this. But I want to skip. Go down please to Yud Bet. Vayia shemesh lavo v'tardema nafla al Avram. What's a tardema, everybody? Asleep. Question. Why does Avram have to be in the state of a tardema? What's a tardema? A deep sleep. But speak to Hashem. What did I just tell you before? On purpose. What did Pasuk Aleph say? He's in a stage of machazeh. If he's in a trance of machazeh, why go into a tardema? So those who want to say it's going to be difficult news, he has to be ready, he has to be in a deeper sleep, kind of like the surgery got put out. No, local versus general aesthetic. The only other place in Chumash that there is the word tardema appears. Who goes into a tardema? Adam. Oh my goodness, that's the second Adam reference. Question. You show the answer already. Do you see how it uses the word Hashem Elokim? Take a look in Pasuk Chet, Yom Hashem Elokim b'meida. Look at Pasuk Bet, Hashem Elokim. That combination of God's names, Hashem Elokim, has not been used, guess what, since Adam. Very good. Genius.
Not so far.
Right? Not so far. Pasuk, Perek, Gimel, Perek for 12 prakim, that combo disappears. Well, the last time, and it's also a lot of time, right? So we see from here, the Torah is screaming and shouting. Connect this to which story? Which narrative? Eitz Hadat. So you know what we need to do? We need to go back now and read Eitz Hadat. Go back to source 5. How many commandments does God give Adam? Don't be Christian. How many commandments does God give Adam by the Eitz Hadat? 1, don't be Christian. What do the Jews say? 1 or 2? Christians say 1. What was it? Don't eat from. But is that what it really says? No, it says eat from every tree of the garden, right? There are 2 commandments. There's an asay and a lo taseh. According to Christian theology, what? Adam is given 1 commandment, he blew it, and therefore you need Jesus in order to attain salvation because man by himself is doomed to destined to sin. That's what the Torah says. What does the Torah actually say? Eat from every tree. God says there's 1,000 trees in the garden. What does God say to him? Eat from 999. Don't eat from one of them. That was just a tangent. What does man say? This is difficult to translate. We'll translate it the most simplest way possible. It is not good being that man is alone. I will make him an Ezer Kenegdo. God then forms what? All the animals. And then all the animals are brought to Adam. And Adam has to give them a name. And Adam names every animal. Look at Chav.
Wait, where's the animals?
2 creation stories. Adam then what? Sees the animals, names animals, but still is missing what? An Ezer Kenegdo. Look at Kafalev. Adam then goes into surgery. We all know what happens afterwards, that the Isha emerges. What does God want to tell Avraham? Perhaps one could argue the following. Avraham, you're going to a Tardema. The last person who did this was who? Was Adam. When Adam woke up from his Tardema, what did he see? He saw the Isha, he saw a wife. Avraham, I'm putting you into a Tardema. When you wake up, look who you're going to see. Look at Pasuk Aleph in source number 1. Sarai Eshet Avraham. When Avraham wakes up, he fails to see his Eshet Chayil. He fails to see his wife. And what does he see? The fact that she can't have children. But Avram's been told that he can have children. And probably what's he telling Sarah? I'm going to have a child. So therefore they come to a very dangerous conclusion. They make a mistake. God wants to say, look at Sarah. She's the one and the only one. Don't take from the forbidden fruit. You don't need anyone else. Don't look. Listen. Feel. But they failed. And Sarah panics. I'm not going to have a biological child. I need to make sure I am in control. And so what does she do? Hagar comes into the equation. Hagar and Avraham have a child, Ishmael. I would like to argue then that Sarah and Avraham made a very poor mistake with Hagar. It should not have happened. God did not want it to happen. God in no place, no way said they should have a child. Why?
Doesn't have Avraham.
What we see from here?
When he
Talk about after. Right? The problem is he should not have done it. They failed to see that the Torah is screaming and yelling, don't do it! It's like the Eitz Hadah, don't eat it, don't take, don't give. They do it anyways. And look what it leads to. Family strife, having too many cousins in the Middle East, right? I think the issue here is, so what's the message? What's going on? We're not quite finished yet. Let's go back to 2. Let's continue. We stopped at Yud Bet. Let's continue reading Yud Gimel. I want to read Yud Gimel. I want you to tell me all the connections now back to source number 1. Vayomer Lavram, you should know. Yadoa Teda, you shall surely know. Ki ger ihiyeh zaracha be'eretz lo lahem. Your children, your family, will be in a foreign land not known to them. Va'avadum, and there they're going. This foreign nation will subjugate them. V'inu otam 400 years. In that one pasuk, what's the connection to the Hagar Yishmael story? They're going to be slaves. Okay, so there'll be subjugation. How are they going to suffer? Through which word? Inu, no? They're going to suffer. Yishmael suffers.
No.
And
No,
Hagar suffers. Sorry, Hagar suffers. Oh my goodness, the word Hagar. What word does it sound like? Ger. Where's Hagar from?
Giant.
And where Bnei Israel become subjugated in? Egypt. So we see that the Torah is saying, understand how these are foil one for the next. You have to understand Tet Zayin. You have to appreciate that vav. So what's going on? Let's go back to source number 1. What does the angel tell Hagar? That's important. Point 1. What's Ishmael's name? God hears. Now, it's throughout the Torah. One day, we'll talk about this in a share form. What we know that everyone has there are different senses. What sense is more powerful according to the Torah? Listening or seeing? Which sense is a Jewish sense? Right? Which sense is a Jewish sense? Which one is a pagan sense? Mm-hmm. So paganism, the Greco-Roman world, the ancient civilizations were all about beauty. Were all about sight.
Okay, so
right? That was the sight. Is lo toturu acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem. Sight is very dangerous. Now, I'm not recommending you do this. Some of you are dating. Some of you will date. I'm not telling you to date like this. But I heard this week of a Hasidic group I want to tell you there's something to this, but there isn't. So it's funny. It's so funny that there has to be some truth to it that it's funny. And that is on the first date, the guy and the girl sit back to back and they do not see each other for 1 hour. After that hour, they then leave. They don't see each other. Then they talk and they decide should they then date a second time, and for that second date they can see each other.
Do they talk when they're
They talk to each other. They don't see each other. They talk. Now, right.
How did they know it's a boy?
Now, wait a second. Why? I want to. It's funny. I do not endorse this method of dating. But I think what's the idea here? The idea here, and that is sometimes when you see something, it can obscure other parts of the relationship. Now, I'm not saying that beauty isn't important, but what they're trying to establish first is there's some type of other dimension to a relationship, and then it can go to a later stage. So, again, I'm not endorsing. Interesting idea. The Hagar is about seeing. The whole story is about seeing. Ro'eh, Belachai, Ro'i, Vatere, Vatere. By the way, you know what description first catches the Isha Chava? She sees the tree. That's what gets her. That's what entices her. She's just beautiful. That's what entices her.
And
right?
The Rashi says that the snake. Why was it? She was different from all. Because it says it was different from all the animals. Because his eye was open. His
eye was open. He saw. So, what is Yishmael's name? God says, if you want to understand what I do, I hear the sound of suffering. Why is it that Shema Yisrael is the cornerstone of the pasuk, which is the statement? Because it's Shema, listen, hearken. It's not a matter of seeing. Now, I'm not disregarding seeing, because we do mention seeing, but there's no question listening plays a much stronger role in Judaism, in Tanakh. What is the great danger of a person who... Anybody see there's a great movie, my favorite movie. I've seen like 2 movies, my favorite movie. Shawshank Redemption. Quote it all the time. Shawshank Redemption. What happens to certain people in Shawshank Redemption? I haven't seen it. Too bad, go see it. What happens to people who were enslaved their whole life and they're given freedom? What can happen to a person? If you don't know how to handle freedom, what happens to you? I really got committed suicide. You remember that? It was just like, why? Freedom is something which you have to learn to appreciate. Let's talk politics for a minute. Let's talk politics. Talk less. The Arab world can throw, right? In the grocery store. The Arab what? Yeah, it's bird right, exactly. Birds were free. You saw you're holding by the movie.
Not so much Bereshis, but
whatever. It's a good movie. It's not quite like Bereshis.
depressing.
Look at our cousins, the Arab cousins. They always scream and yell. They want freedom. They want a state, and they want to be free. What happens if every single time the Israelis and the Americans say, okay, we'll give you a state, but you know what's going to come with? On condition that you recognize the state of Israel. Take responsibility for the terrorists in your midst. What do they say? No, we just want a state. They want the freedom without responsibility. Freedom without responsibility is chaos, is madness. To some extent, that's what Yishmael is. Now, the Arabs today don't see, they're probably historically not biologically the sense of Yishmael. They're theologically, they see that they view Yishmael as their father. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Which I think, by the way, you should know that in different versions of the Quran, they actually say that Yishmael was offered as the Akedah, right? You know that, yeah? Different texts have the Yitzchak story, and some appendage was actually the word Yishmael. Different versions.
Arab one is Yishmael?
There are versions of it, yes.
And Yitzchak was from Hagar?
And Yitzchak was sent away, yes. Now, what I think we see here is the Torah passing judgment, that Avraham and Sarah missed the relation with each other. By the way, then part 2 would be next week's parsha, when Sarah eventually does have a child. If you take a look, the truth that I shared about those psukim, it actually says that Avraham and Sarah actually connect. He appreciates her as who she is, and she appreciates him for what he is. It's at that point in time she merits to have a child. But the whole idea of the Yishmael story, I think, it's a battle of seeing. It's a battle of hearing. It's about responsibility. It's the Torah screaming and yelling, don't make the same mistake of the Isha. And I think that's the underlying theme of the episodes is, yes, God will hear the cry. Hear the cry of those people who are suffering. Whether it's Hagar, whether it's Yishmael the individual, whether it's Am Yisrael the nation, who eventually will also get redeemed from Egypt, so too Hagar and Yishmael, to some extent, will be redeemed from the house of Sarah, and they'll be given lots of gifts, right? What happens when Hagar and Yishmael are sent away? Avram gives them lots of gifts. What happens when Am Yisrael is sent away from Egypt? They also leave with a lot of wealth as well. So, I think there's so many messages here that are the themes and the sub-theme. But I just wanted to share with you, I think, this insight into trying to understand what they did was right or wrong. Trying to pass moral and ethical judgment on the Avot Nimchot is often very, very difficult. I think often you have to go elsewhere in the Torah. In this case, I think it's screaming and yelling, like I said, wake up and smell the Chumash, to try and tell you what the opinion is of really what's going on. And hopefully we can learn from the mistakes of certain people and really grow from it in order to appreciate what the Chumash tells us and what really we are meant to behave and act in our own lives. So that's the end of this year for tonight.